Welcome to the Shelf Examination Podcast, where we examine items found on the shelves of our local library. I'm Joe, the makerspace guy for the...
Let's try that again.
I was going so good.
I do, but you were like, welcome. And I was like, let's get ready to rumble.
I do that on every time. I do that on every episode. You know, I'm going to leave this in. I'm Joe. I'm the makerspace guy for the libraries in Southern Utah.
And I'm Sarah. I am the reference librarian at one of the branches here in Southern Utah and a geeky guru, as I've been told.
Well, I mean, I think that's on your name tag or your business cards.
Business cards.
Do you have business cards here?
I'm not that cool, but I print them up when I go to conventions and library places. So.
You better put Geeky Guru on there.
Geeky Guru. That's a new thing to add.
And we are still in our Kaiju review, and today we have a movie that is barely a Kaiju movie.
Yeah, there's only 3.
Well,
okay, there's a few brains.
Okay, to be fair, 3 is a lot of kaijus. I mean, that's more than most kaiju movies, but there's not a lot of kaiju in this movie. And I would argue there is only one kaiju in this movie because all 3 of them combine
like Destructicon or Voltron.
Exactly.
But yeah, you only have the 3, and they don't even come in till toward the end.
No, it's honestly like the last third of the movie when we get our first kaiju.
Before that, it's all deal with kaiju brains.
Yeah, and it's Jaeger on Jaeger action. We get evil Jaegers fighting Jaegers because we've already banished all of. We are talking about Pacific Rim Uprising. This is the sequel to Pacific Rim.
It was not directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Okay. No, I don't think it was directed, but I think that he had his name on the credits.
Well, he created it.
Yeah, for sure. And did he produce it? Was he in the money for it? I don't know. I can't tell. But his name was on the credit. He at least got like... Yeah,
created by.
And he didn't take his name off of it. Like, it wasn't so egregious that he went, no, I don't want to be a part of this.
Exactly, but I could tell he didn't direct it. It didn't have his flair and his timing.
No. So my experience with this movie, this was my second time watching this movie.
And this is my first.
Okay. And after watching it the second time, I got the movie from here at the library at St. George Branch. And I was like, hey, kids, we need to sit down, or I need to watch this movie. Do you guys want to watch it with me? And some of my kids were like, we haven't seen the first one. And so they sat down to watch the first one. But I watched the second one and then watched the first one with them. And I can tell you, okay, my second time watching it, I didn't hate it as much as I remember disliking it the first time I watched it.
Okay, that's good.
I was like, there are things about this that I could see. And it has at least one really clever idea that I liked.
Yeah.
But then I watched the first one and I'm like, no, it definitely doesn't live up to its predecessor.
It was not a waste of celluloid.
No.
But it did not live up to its predecessor.
No,
and it didn't live up to its advertised hype.
Well, for sure it was riding on the popularity of the first movie.
Well, and if you watched the ads for it, and I did go back and watch them on YouTube, I will admit, all the cool bits, all the kaijus and everything, that's all in the trailer.
They were hyping up the good parts of this movie.
Yeah, and they completely missed, like, you know, the majority of the plot. So it wasn't at all what they were advertising.
No, but I mean, that's not unusual. Advertising always puts the best parts forward. It's just sad that there wasn't enough of that to carry the movie.
Unfortunately, it was not marketed properly.
Okay, I would agree with that. But even if it had been marketed properly, I still don't think that it lived up to its predecessor. So I think it got the marketing it deserved in a lot of ways.
And I don't think, you know, because as we talked about in the other one, Del Toro and a bunch of others put a lot of effort into the designs, into the kaiju creations, the Jaeger designs, and they created thousands of them and then just picked their favorites. And these kind of felt like they were the ones that weren't quite as favorite. They just picked those up off the trash bin and kept going.
Or I don't know if they pulled. That's an interesting question. Did they pull from that original stock, or did they just like, oh, we're going to make new kaiju, and they just definitely didn't put the same effort
kaiju,
into
make
it?
Make
new Jaegers,
or did they just pull them from what they had before?
Now, I will say, watching this movie the second time, I kind of was taking notes from the standpoint of, okay, they made that mistake. What could they have done better?
Right.
They made that mistake. What could they have done better? One mistake that I don't think that they made, one thing that I really liked about this movie, and just, you know, we spoil the movies. If you haven't watched it, go check it out at your local
Yeah,
library.
I mean,
and watch
it's
But
not terrible. We've watched and reviewed worse.
the twist in this movie is that Charlie Day's character from the first movie,
Yeah, Newt.
Newt, that's right.
Newton.
It's Charlie Day. I don't know.
Newt.
But he and
The mistake he makes in the first movie really is compounded in this movie.
yeah, and I wouldn't say it was a mistake because
It was a
it
mistake.
allowed them to get the information that they needed to know that they needed to wear a kaiju to go through.
Right.
So it wasn't a mistake necessarily, although
Okay, how about the repercussions of his actions
There we go.
reverberate into this movie?
exactly, it has consequence. And I kind of love that they kind of played the idea of what he did in the first movie enables the now mistake number one that I'm going to mention, not mistake number one that they made, but mistake number one that I'm going to mention. Precursors is a stupid name
Yep.
for aliens named by a government organization.
Right?
Okay. I loved this old video game called Star Control 2 when I was a kid.
I
And
remember
the
it.
aliens that we never get to see in that movie were called the precursors,
Precursors.
because they came before
Yep.
all of the existing races.
Right.
You
don't get that.
Precursors was a dumb name for these aliens.
and
They should have been called
actually-
Entity 97 or something like
and
that.
I was
you know?
watching it, and I'm like, okay, so the precursors are the Robotech masters. We came up with this in the late 70s, early 80s.
Sure, and we could call them Kaiju Masters. That would have been a better
That would've
name
been
than Precursors.
fine, but-
Sure.
Or even the creators of the Kaiju, or something along
Yes.
those lines.
So I think the Precursors was a dumb name, but moving on, the Precursors, the aliens have infected Charlie Day, and he is now the bad guy who secretly, subterfugely is
They are the puppet masters pulling
right,
his strings.
and he's creating new kaiju in our world
Yep,
and hiding
their
them
brains.
in the mass-produced Jaeger
drones.
Yeah, Jaeger drones, which honestly,
With the exception of one Jaeger, which he happened to find.
right, but honestly, really good setup, really
Yeah,
good
I mean,
play.
the
I
fact that
thought
they
that
were
the
like,
writing on that one didn't suck.
This brain has been homegrown. And I was like, okay, that's new. I like
Yeah,
that.
they did something very cool with that. I kind of and the reveal. I love this
That was a
because
cool reveal,
his character was saying, "Hey, you need to come and see what did he call her, Alice or something
Yeah,
like that."
Alice.
And Bern Goldman's character,
Herman, yeah, I said Newt and Herman are back. Woo! But Newt is possessed.
but Newt is possessed, and Herman is like, "Yeah, I can't come over." If he had just listened,
And if you just come.
like that was Newt trying to speak out and warn him and say, "Please, please come
He
see
slipped
what I'm
the
doing."
reins for just a
He
second.
slipped the reins for just a second, but no, Newt. So that interaction, that writing,
That was good.
that was a
really
little bit
good.
of cleverness
Yeah.
in here. This movie is not entirely without merit.
No. I didn't. Like I said, I didn't. It's not Cloverfield. I didn't hate it.
Yes. Okay, so
But again, it didn't live up.
do we want to start at the beginning?
So
We both
it
got
starts
a lot of notes.
10 years after the first movie.
And we are introduced to John Bodega's character, who is Jake Pentecost,
Yes.
who is the
Idris
son
Elba's
of Idris
character.
Elba's
Yeah.
character.
Which that they never mentioned in the first movie.
Never
and the
mentioned
fact
him?
that even Idris Elba's character is like, well, I've got nothing to continue living for. I'm old and blah, 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 so I'll just die. I'm like, wait, don't you have
a son now?
Now we have a son. What?
Yeah. Also, they make him the most unlikable character in the
Right?
first couple of minutes. So that is my note. That is my note number one for the mistake that they made.
He's a scavenger in the quote unquote relief zones.
Right.
It looked
But
like something off of the Walking Dead set. Come
So
on.
much of what he was doing was stupid. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you're trading a car for sriracha? Everything about this opening makes him an unlikable character.
yeah.
If they had opened with Amara, the other girl
Mm-hmm.
who built, this would have been a much better movie because we would have had a character that we liked to latch
from the beginning.
onto. But at the
I
time,
know,
John
now,
Bodega was a big name.
Yeah, he was, and he did a great job with what he was given.
Yes,
He's trying to show it's not quite an anti-hero. He's like a true neutral hero.
well, he's a dude with a lot of daddy issues because his daddy never mentioned him in the first movie,
Never
right?
even bothered to mention him in the first
Exactly.
movie. Didn't leave him anything in the will.
Yeah. So I see what he's working with, and a lot of when he's charming, he's
so
charming.
charming.
But when he's unlikable,
Is he charming? They say that he's charming.
yeah, no.
Sorry, musical
What
moment.
was that a quote from? I
That's
don't
from
know.
Into the Woods.
Oh shoot! I have watched several stage performances of that. I watched the Hollywood-produced version of it. And I will say the best part of it's agony.
Misery, whoa. I was raised to be
good.
charming, not sincere.
So, yeah, John Bodega, I think that if we had not started out with him being such a unlikable jerk, if that had not been our anchor to this movie, I would have started out liking this movie more.
Her so
yeah,
much
she's
more.
a prepper.
Oh my gosh.
I dig it.
She's great.
Her
and
whole thing is
she literally scrap built her own Jaeger named Scrapper.
right. And it's a small Jaeger that rolls up into a ball, but because it's so small, it doesn't require two pilots. It just requires essentially it's just a really big Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
You know?
And it rolls up into a ball, so it's like a mix between the Big Iron Giant and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. And I dig it. I think that Scrapper is honestly.
he was my favorite Jaeger.
We should have started with Scrapper. We should have started with Amara. This would have been a better movie.
Yeah.
But why I say she's a prepper is because the whole reason why she's building this is because I'm not going to we're not going to let it happen again.
No,
I am going to be prepared. He's like, why do you want to build a Jaeger? The only reason you want to build a Jaeger is to sell a Jaeger to somebody who's rich who will pay you a lot of money so that you can live like a king. And she's like, no. I want to be protected. That's prepper thinking.
Yeah,
even though there was
selling
no
all his
clear and
stuff
present
on the
threat.
black market just to make money. She's like, no.
No.
I want this for myself.
Exactly.
This and my bunker full of food is going to keep me through all the kaiju.
So 100% prepper mentality like
I
that,
loved
and
it.
I like it. I don't know why
her.
she was wonderful.
Yeah.
So at this point,
They get
Jaegers
caught.
have been turned into police.
You kind of.
That's basically what
That's
the Jaegers are now.
like. Yeah. And so, they've been popular, but now they're on the line to see if they should continue to be working or should they move on to the Jaeger drones.
Right. There is a drone program that Charlie Day's character is working with some Chinese woman who at this point she is looking like she's going to be the villain. She's cutthroat, she's mean to Newt.
Oh yeah, she's very corporate.
Very corporate, and we're like, oh, corporate is going to take over. And,
Newt.
Yeah, exactly.
We love Newt.
And so that's looking like they're setting that up as the bad guy. Meanwhile, Jake Pentecost has been recruited by Mako. Mako's back.
Mako comes back.
Kind
and
of.
She says, okay,
sort of.
yeah, she's a senator.
I don't care.
I know.
Right? This was the return of Mako, but her boyfriend from the first movie...
He's gone. They don't even mention him.
Not even mentioned. She's not Mako.
She's not. She is all politician. She's not... There's no connection between her and the Jaeger pilots. It's none of that camaraderie of I understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
None of that. It's all politics.
Back when I was a Jaeger... No, none of that.
No, it's not
also,
any of that.
we later on get like a reminder that they were both raised by Idris Elba's character.
Yeah.
Therefore, they were brother and sister. And boy, they do a lousy job of conveying that before that point. Like in the halfway point of the movie, I was like, I guess so.
Yeah, even if it was just, a little bit of, Dad always do better. He mentioned you in the movie. I don't know.
Or even an opening scene. And this would have been a better intro for John Bodega's character. Is in an opening scene of a little Asian girl and a little black boy playing in a yard under the watchful eye of Idris Elba, or if you absolutely could not get Idris Elba for 5 minutes in this movie, put it under Mom's watchful eye.
Yeah.
But give us that moment of seeing them play as a child so that we can insert him into the story.
Yeah, it would make you like him more. It
exactly.
would give your brain a connection.
And then jump to he's in the future
and
he's got his daddy's issue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they didn't.
No, they started with the fall, and it just didn't land.
So she tells Mako, comes to John Bodega and Amara.
Yes.
Right, and says, "Okay, you guys are
part
trouble.
of the
You guys
project
are going to
now.
be in trouble. But if you don't want to be in trouble, we will have John Bodega's character teach at this academy, and she will enter as one of his cadets."
Yes, she gets to be a Jaeger pilot in the new Jaeger program, which again, they're just police.
Yeah, pretty much.
But she is such a Jaeger fanboy.
It's pretty much it's the whole. We've gotten rid of the kaiju, but we have all this Jaeger technology. We need to use it for something.
Absolutely, we're not going to go backwards with the tech, but I feel like this had the same problem as Independence Day 2. Which have you seen that one? Okay, Independence Day 2 felt 3 levels of removed from our reality. It opens with them building a laser on Jupiter when it really should have opened with something that grounded us in reality before, or grounded
People
us
can't
in
see
our
me
world.
nodding. I'm nodding.
Yeah. And it didn't do that, and they didn't do that. So this world
So
feels
again,
2 levels
it
removed.
was another movie that I had a hard time connecting and caring about the characters.
Exactly. And this one, too. All right, so they enter the program. We meet the other...
They go to China to the
that's right.
Shatter Dome.
That's right.
The minute they called it the Shatter Dome, I was like, "Where's Tina Turner? I want the Thunderdome."
Yeah. Welcome to the Shatter Dome. Isn't that what it was called in the first movie, though? That's what it was called in the first movie.
Yeah, but they didn't make a big deal of it in the first movie. Like, they really emphasized it in the second movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, Tina Turner, Tina Turner.
And we got to have a big old buff dude with a little dude on his shoulders or something like that. Yeah. We need to have the Shatter Dome. Or a tiny Jaeger riding on top. We should have, well, we did it later on have Scrapper riding on there, but it wasn't quite the same.
Not the same. So, yeah, it was, and then they introduced a few of the
other cadets.
And some of the Jaegers that they have available there.
I love how she's walking around. Amara is walking around and pointing out each one of the Jaegers and going, "Hey, that one's that one, and that one's that one."
Total
and I'm so
fangirl.
excited about. She's total fangirly.
He couldn't
It's
have been
not
more
bringing
interesting.
us into it.
No,
You know, I think in this case, what would have helped is if we would have had full shots of the Jaegers that she's talking about. And I hate to say it, I think that this would have been cheesy as all get out, but it would have helped if we had had like a illustration of it, like spin around for a second and then little text coming out the side. You know, just to kind of
like it was in a museum.
like it was in a museum or on a computer screen or something.
I was happy that they have one called Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah, we got a new gypsy. It's a skinnier gypsy.
Yeah, a nice homage to Gypsy Danger.
Well, you can't have. I mean, they had.
You can't have
Gladys's
Gypsy Chamber.
voice.
They blew it up. But
Exactly. But you can't not have a gypsy. We got to have like that.
Something.
Gypsy was all about nostalgia.
Yeah.
It had Gladys's voice. It was old-fashioned in the
amazing.
movie.
It was analog.
It was analog, yeah. And that's
Callback
all
humor,
that we
double
will
points.
say about that. Yeah. But they couldn't not have it in this movie
they
because
couldn't have.
they needed that anchor to the
Especially
first
since
one.
they didn't even mention the main character from the last movie.
Yeah, which I can't even remember his name. But yeah, Pretty Boy was not anywhere to be seen. We have new Pretty Boy. It's John Bodega. And actually, the other Pretty Boy that shows up at this point.
His last name Becker? Something like that.
The new Pretty Boy?
No, the old Pretty Boy.
Old Pretty Boy is Pentecost.
No. I'm talking
Oh,
about
old
from
Pretty
the
Boy.
first movie.
For the first movie. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Terrible.
But the new, the other man that they meet, the other Pretty Boy that they
Nate.
meet, his co-pilot, Nate, is played by Scott Eastwood.
I know.
Clint Eastwood's illegitimate son.
Hey, he claimed him.
Yeah, that's true. He did, and it's very. But he's got the same squint as his dad.
He does.
You know?
He has a lot of his dad's facial features, and
Yeah.
he's just as good as an actor.
Now, as a character, though, Nate does not like Jake.
For obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. He's supportive of the cadets, but not quite fatherly.
No.
So I feel like as a character, he didn't go as far in the direction that he should have, but then he also, I don't know. He was one that was just there.
I don't see him as going for a fatherly sort of role. I think he was more supposed to be the teacher role.
Yeah,
the
sensei,
the
leader, whatever.
Instead of father figure, it's more of the authoritative figure without being like drill sergeant.
And he kind of was that. Okay, fair enough. I would say that's a fair assessment of what he was playing. But he mostly serves to be co-pilot for Jake.
Yep, that's his whole sole purpose.
Really?
And to be there for the cadets.
And of course, they get to do some co-piloting. So Jake is... His complication is he wants to get out of this deal.
Yes.
And this drone pilot program, he sees as his ticket out. And so he's kind of like all for it. And so he's telling Mako, hey, let's support this. Let's make this happen. She's going, I'm not for it. So. And he's going, let's support this. Let's make this happen.
And, you can kind of see it that in the actress's face. She's like, yeah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, she is 100% clear. Again, though, that brother-sister dynamic did not come out.
No, not at all. Not at all.
In this
It was very much, she's the cool senator who helped save the world, and he's just the scrapper, and he's bitter about it.
They have a relation. There's a reason why he's allowed to talk to her, but brother, sister?
Not really.
They didn't.
It was almost
the chemistry
like
wasn't there.
That they don't care to admit they know.
But nevertheless, they go to a summit to see I guess they're going to see the drones or sign something with the drones or something like that.
Yeah, she's doing like the final assessment before things.
And it gets attacked by...
Dun, 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 a rogue Jaeger.
Yeah, not a kaiju. Because we can't have kaiju fights yet. No. So we have to have evil Jaeger.
Evil Jaeger. It was Obsidian Fury. They're like, oh my gosh, that still exists. Oh my gosh, who's piloting it? Attack, attack, attack. Right. And I'm watching it, and the first thing in my mind was aliens. It's aliens.
I mean, if it goes anywhere that King Kong or Godzilla did, aliens would 100% be.
That would have been awesome.
And I mean, that's kind of
what I totally meant like the people in charge of the kaiju. In my brain, I was like, it's the kaiju people.
Well, it's obviously got to be, but how in the world? The rift is sealed. There's no way that they could be there. I will say this fight, it was Gypsy Avenger and it was the Obsidian Fury. It did not entirely suck.
No.
Like the uppercut where he uppercuts him up the building.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Kind of neat.
That was the highlight of it. And I was like, oh, the poor people in that building.
Yeah. And then midway through the fight, Mako is still in her helicopter and gets knocked out of the sky.
Swatted out of the sky like a dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yep. Like all the time, they're like, fly up, people, fly up.
You've got altitude. But Gypsy Avenger tries to catch her and just misses.
Just misses the fingertips.
Scrapes the fingertips across it, and Mako dies. And again, I don't care. Like I'm supposed to care. And
yeah, I was like, Mako's gone. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
But before she dies,
she sends a secret message.
A secret message for the location of the secret base.
But because the Jaeger was scrambling the signal, they don't get the whole thing. All they get is a picture that looks like a Jaeger head. Only it's not a Jaeger head.
It's a secret base.
It's an island. It's a secret base.
It's Skull Island. No, wait.
Yeah, it's Skull Island. No, it 100% is, again, and it's ridiculous. But at the same time, it's ridiculous in a way that I can
to the end of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Obsidian Fury totally pulls a Godzilla and escapes into the water.
Yes, because the other Jaegers are coming in to fight. Yeah. He's like, well, I'm outnumbered now, so he just waddles away.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he goes in hey, Godzilla did that better.
For sure. But then we see the reveal of who Alice is, which was very cool. He's got the brain segment from the first movie in his apartment, and he interfaces with it regularly.
Yeah, I actually put on here, drones are a fabulous idea when there's a hive mind involved. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the idea is that he's working for a company that are trying to remote control Jaegers, and the advantage to this,
it's like following the smart bombs that are driven by remote control, so you're not putting soldiers in danger.
And it looks like they're able to use this technology so that they don't need two pilots to share the load.
Exactly.
They've essentially got relays in there that boost the signal, which was one of my problems with the first movie. Like, relays exist, man. They exist in our day. We use them all the time.
Yeah,
how do you think that you can flip a tiny switch on your wall and move a garage door? Relays. That is how.
So no, they show what's actually Alice is really driving and what Alice really is, which is a kaiju brain that takes over Obsidian Fury.
I think it's the same kaiju brain from the first movie.
And it's so funny because I'm watching and it opens up, and I actually wrote this down. I was like, called it.
Yeah. But
they figure out the brain is locally grown.
Well, the brains that they are putting inside the kaiju, because, okay, so we go forward. First of all, we got some friction with the cadets. The Russian girl is just generally unpleasant and doesn't like Amara for no good reason, but we get to have a chick fight in there, so that's all right.
I mean, you kind of it felt like classism, but they never really explained what class the Russian girl was.
Right. She felt like she was better than Amara because... Oh, wait, they forgot the because part.
They didn't tell us the because part. I got the feel, you get that mean girl vibe, high school, I'm the rich girl.
It's a Russian mean girl.
You're the poor chick from the slums who thinks she's cool because she can build a Jaeger, but
Right.
she's not because she doesn't have money. That was the vibe I got, but they
And
never
bigger
really,
is better.
yeah, and they never gave a reason.
Yeah, I feel like, again, there's another note for the writers of the movie. We got to motivate this, and
Yeah,
they
it's
just
like,
didn't motivate it.
Why does she have that mean girl energy toward her? Because she's
Yeah.
not like she's got backup buddies or anything. But
No, and that's the other thing. None of the other people, all of the other cadets, okay, the other cadets were teasing Amara by having her say something in Russian that would upset the girl, and she said it like an idiot. Like, don't listen to these people.
Yeah,
But
why would you
she
do that?
said it to her, and then she turns to the guy and goes, "Did I say that right?" And the Russian girl did not look at the other guy and go, "You put her up to this." She just started fighting Amara.
yeah, chick fight.
Which, okay, we wanted a chick fight. We got the chick fight. I guess
I
that's
just
why they
wish it
did
would
this.
have had a reason behind it other
Yeah.
than ooh, chick fight.
But then Jake and Nate get in Gypsy Avenger. They go to the island that they got descrambled from the message from Mako, and we get a rematch. And he
Yes.
gets to fight again. And this
Now,
fight,
and this is a secret base. Is
it's in some ice. You know,
It's
they entered the ice level.
yeah, but it is an old Jaeger factory.
Right. A decommissioned Jaeger
Yeah,
factory
which
for that.
they are now
Oh,
producing.
it's not decommissioned.
It's not actually decommissioned. There really
Yeah.
are things being made. They're just not good things.
Yeah. And this fight was weird because for a lot of it, several times during the fight, they would shoot directly at the ground and it would turn out to be ice that they would fall into, but then they would get out of the ice and it would support their weight perfectly fine to fight despite being severely compromised.
Right?
You know?
No, it reminded me of. I found this graph actually, and it shows how thick the ice needs to be to keep you from crashing through, and it
Yeah.
shows a person and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I will let you know that it requires more ice to keep Godzilla up than it does an AT-AT from Star Wars. Don't come after me. Star Wars.
I would believe that AT-ATs aren't that big, but Godzilla is freaking huge. In
Yeah,
fact,
he's very dense.
I think I saw a comparison
But
where
there
they have
was
determined.
there was a Jaeger on there,
Okay.
and it required less than an AT-AT.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
I was like, this is really good timing for finding this image.
Yeah. I think somebody did a comparison. They have determined that just about any iteration of Godzilla is bigger than the biggest kaiju in this movie.
It's true.
So,
And he's more dense, apparently.
also, yeah,
Muscly wise.
Kaijus have some strange density to them. They're much lighter than they should be for their size, which
Unless you're Godzilla.
unless you're
apparently.
Godzilla, apparently. But the kaijus in this movie, they didn't pay attention to the sizing and stuff like that, but that's all right. So they take down the rogue Jaeger and they find out that there is alien DNA inside of
Yes.
it, that it had a alien brain controlling it. But yeah, like you say, they did some analysis of it and found that it was a earth-grown
Yep.
alien brain. Oh my goodness, how
It
could
had
that be?
different composition to it.
And also at this point, the cadets start poking around the Jaeger because Amara is just, she's like, I have to figure
I
this
need
out.
this thing,
and
yeah.
I'm going to bring along
to
all
know.
of the other cadets because
Then we're less likely to get in trouble.
shenanigans. Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, that doesn't turn out being the case. One of them gets burned by acid because there is kaiju DNA running throughout the entire thing.
Nasty.
And Amara gets dismissed because of it. But before she gets dismissed, she says the cables are winding in the wrong direction. Therefore, all of this is being built by the drone people. So this is a drone, or it's at least being built by
Drone
that.
built,
And
yeah.
they're like, well, okay, it could be stolen parts. That does happen. Looking at you, girl.
Yeah, but also, who else would know better than her?
For sure. She was the right person to be poking around inside there
Yeah.
and all, but still you got
I thought
you
I
went out
wrote
of
down, I
the
said,
rules and stuff.
Newt and Herman are back. But then I said, Newt is possessed. We said, his superiors said that drifting with the brain in the last movie was not a good idea. Not only were they right, they were sequel right.
It's true though. But again, at this point they're still playing at Newt's boss.
Yeah.
Being the bad
villain,
guy.
yeah.
But we have already seen that Newt is interfacing with the kaiju, so we know. But also, his boss
Just
is still very
traumatic
much
irony.
a jerk.
Yes. Well,
I don't
you
know. Let's see.
It's like a business person trying to work with someone who is so creative and so out there that they don't even have a common language almost.
Yeah.
And so she's very rough and she's very strict, but it's because that's the only way she seems to be able to get through to him.
Honestly, and I don't think that she was a bad character, but she was set up to be like the false bad guy. And
kind of like Ron Perlman in the first movie.
Yeah, kind of.
Not quite as much fun.
No, definitely not. She had almost no character whatsoever. Yeah. I didn't hate her. She was just there. And then at this point, the drone Jaegers attack and the
that sounds like a terrible movie. Drone Jaegers attack.
The drone Jaegers attack, but as they're attacking, the kaijus that are hidden inside of the control units break free, and they turn into Evangelion.
Yep. Which is horrifying.
They're half biological in a robot suit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, now they're bioweapons. Yeah. So yeah, I thought of Evangelion. I really did. And I was like, where's Shinji?
They're very short Evangelion in the end. But
is Shinji's dad around? Because he was a very terrible person.
Honestly, yeah, they're kind of playing that. And at this point, we get the full-out attack. They're attacking the base. Now, one thing that I thought was funny, as they're attacking the base in China, the Chinese commander sees that the Jaegers coming in are, turning into monsters. And he turns around. I don't know if you noticed this, but it looked to me like he tapped his breast communicator like he was in Star Trek The Next Generation. And I was going, no one else has done or is going to do that was he like, this is my one chance to be on Star Trek and I'm not going to miss it. I love his little chest tap to activate the communicator.
I was like, either he's tapping his communicator or he's making sure his heart's still beating. I can't decide.
He's clutching his pearls. Oh. No. But at this point, all the Jaegers are reopening rifts all over the world.
No, they're everywhere.
By using their chest lasers, which apparently is the way you open a rift now.
Apparently now it is. But they're specifically aiming at points in the Ring of Fire.
Right.
In the Pacific.
But it is all over the world. All over the Pacific Ocean, yeah. But they open several rifts. Meanwhile, Newt has sabotaged the system, and we found out that he's fully puppet. Precursor now. What's his name? Torchwood tries to stop him. Herman tries to stop him, but he also doesn't. That's what he was on. That's what I remember him from. I did not love Torchwood, but I can't get him out of my head. I watched it. It's in there. And he doesn't want Newt to get shot. Bossy Lady tries to shoot him, and honestly, I would have been like, shoot him. Just go ahead and shoot him. But I think the thinking is he's got the key to undo this. It never comes into play.
No, it doesn't. And the other thing is if you
should have just shot him.
If you kill what's left of Newt inside, will he literally become a total puppet?
That's an interesting question.
They've already proved that they can take over machines and blah, blah, blah.
Ooh, necromantic Newt being controlled by the... Yeah, boy, that's something.
Yeah, isn't that horrifying? Now into zombies.
I'm kind of glad we didn't go there. Okay, so however, they override the programming. They manage to turn off most of the taken over Jaegers.
Most of the Evangelions.
Yeah, exactly. And they close the rifts, which bifurcates at least one kaiju coming through. I thought that was kind of cool. But
okay, yeah.
Oh no, okay. 3 other kaiju still manage. Yeah.
Yes, 3 get out.
Now, I will say at this point, this is like the second act of the movie, and it feels third act.
It does.
Like they did a really good job of upping the stakes, and I was surprised at this point of the movie to see how much of the movie was
still left. Yeah.
Like we got good fighting at the midway point, and it is all fight from here on to the end.
Yeah, and
I didn't hate this movie. This part of the movie didn't suck.
But some of it they were doing for ease of production that they come up later with, or the cool shot.
Yeah.
So they figure out that what the goal is with all these micro fissures and whatever is they want to make Mount Fuji explode.
Right. Okay.
Which I think is very rude to all of the painters who have been painting Mount Fuji for centuries.
Couple of things. First of all, they figure this out by looking at the paths that the kaijus took in the past and going, oh, they were all going towards Mount Fuji. We just never continued the line in that direction.
What?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
You know, you would have figured out if they were all going in the same direction.
That it totally builds on the whole, all of the kaiju and all of the movies want to destroy Japan.
Yes.
We got it, poor Tokyo.
Yes. But then in this movie, they're like, oh, let's extrapolate the new ones. Oh, they're going to the same place. And it's Mount Fuji.
But the thing is they want to get Mount Fuji to explode to create a chain reaction of having the entire ring of fire explode.
Well, not just the entire ring of fire. It is to send up the noxious fumes and gases that will make this planet suitable for the precursors.
Which is why they want all that. But
I gotta think there are closer places that you can get lava.
Well, and the other thing is why didn't they go after a super volcano?
Right. Yeah, Mount Fuji ain't even that big a volcano.
You got Lake Toba in Indonesia. You've got that whole plain that Java's in the middle of.
Yeah.
You've got the giant one in New Zealand.
I am so glad that we are both overthinking this same problem.
I know, right?
Because when I hit this point of the movie, they were doing this with like CSI-like reveals. Like, well, hold on for a second. Let me enhance the picture.
The Make Better button.
Make Better button. Oh my goodness, they're going to Mount Fuji. Whereas you and I were going, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Why didn't you go to a super volcano? It would be so much easier.
That would have been yeah, exactly.
If you go south, there's like 6 of them right there.
If you turn on your brain at this point, this movie falls apart. Now, to be fair, this is a movie.
It's Hollywood science, cinema science.
And this is a movie where the point is giant robot fight giant monster.
Exactly.
Which we haven't got yet.
No,
We've had giant robot fight giant robot and giant robot fight giant Evangelion.
Yes.
You know?
But they do well, and the fact that we've had giant robot fight a giant bad guy in water previous to this in the last movie.
Yeah.
So if they go after the ones in the South Pacific and whatnot, you're going to have more fights in the water.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do it differently, and what better than to destroy Tokyo?
I recognize it's not super close, but Yellowstone.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're going to Yellowstone, you're not going to destroy
a lot of cool shots.
That's going to be a lot of cool shots, but not a lot of destruction of property. I mean, a little bit in Los Angeles when you're crossing over, but then
what if they go in around Portland?
Sure.
That's a little more straight.
We could have a lot of people would probably leave them alone. They're just the kaijus are just wandering around, but they're not destroying. Oh, they hit Yellowstone. Now we're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they would go through.
They would have gotten away with it.
There's some mountain change. You've got the Sierras, the Sawtooths, and a bunch of, okay, they're going to destroy some forests. This could be bad, but there's a lot of empty space through that area.
Instead, they had to go for the postcard attack.
They had to do it. They had to try and ruin all those beautiful Mount Fuji paintings.
At this point, the base has been attacked. Most of the Jaegers have been taken out, but Amara has been reinstated because she is the best repair person, and she's going to work with the techs to cobble together Jaegers out of the broken Jaegers.
Out of what's left of the Evangelion Jaegers.
And so here we get a bunch of new Jaegers that are using parts from the old Jaegers that we had no connection with.
Right.
That now we have to make now we have to go, look, it's a cool combination of one that I didn't care about and another that I didn't care about. And now it makes, I'm sorry, I don't care plus, I don't care equals, I don't care squared. That's not how the math works.
I don't remember their names. There was like Athena something.
No.
And,
I will say, though,
they did still have Gypsy Avenger. They did have that.
Gypsy Avenger was almost entirely unharmed.
Yeah, a Gypsy Avenger got a little bit of mid-show upgrade like you do in every anime. But that was about it.
Yeah.
So we still, and I think they did it on purpose because they want you to care about Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah.
And Gypsy Avenger. And, did we mention you need to focus on Gypsy Avenger? I
will say the new robots, when we get to see them fight later, they are very cool. And we do get to do some bonding with them later. But at this point, I'm not super bonded with them. However, Jake comes up and he does he's like, my father would have done an amazing pep talk, but I'm not my father, so he does not do an amazing pep talk. That was the worst pep talk I have ever heard. Okay, there was a TV show a while ago.
So his father had the speech writer from Independence Day, and he did not.
No, because his speech ends with, this is our day. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Do you understand? Hold on. You like the first 2 times I was mostly sure, but you've asked me 3 times, so now I'm thinking like maybe I missed something. Do you understand? Yes, sir, is stupid. Don't repeat it 3 times.
It's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Exactly. It felt like
I'm doubting you. I'm doubting you. I'm doubting you.
There was an old TV show called The Coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one episode, like I didn't watch it, but I saw it every once in a while. And
it was hard to miss. It was everywhere.
Yeah, it was on primetime TV. And I think I saw it like right after or right before Night Court or something like that, back when you would be on the wrong channel and have to flip to the right channel. But the opening of this one was really good. The coach is in front of his team at the halftime, and he says, guys, this is the halftime, and I know that I'm supposed to give you guys a huge pep talk, but I don't think that you guys need a huge pep talk. They need a huge pep talk. That other team over there, we are going to go out there and we are going to kick their butts. And if I were their coach, I'd be giving them the best pep talk ever. Now let's go out there and kick their butts. And his non-pep talk turned into the pep talk.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was going for here. His non-pep talk turned into a non-pep talk.
Fizzle.
And I do think that they made fun of it later on. And so I'm glad that they were self-aware, but
self-aware enough that it was awful.
Try a little harder. Okay, so we got Chekhov's rocket fuel here. He was like, I'm going to use kaiju blood to make rocket fuel.
I wrote this. I wrote kaiju blood-powered rockets. What?
Now, I'm not opposed to this idea. I love it. But how much kaiju blood they got on hand?
I know. It was 10 years ago.
They managed to rocket these suckers across the globe twice.
Yeah.
And they have plenty of kaiju blood for doing this. Now, I don't know.
But they were fighting them 10 years ago.
Maybe it just needs a little bit of it's just a little kaiju blood kick.
Maybe there was blood from the Evangelions?
I don't know.
I don't know. They didn't really explain that.
Yeah, no, they might have gotten some more blood from those Evangelions. That's an idea there. But
you didn't really see any of that.
So we get to see they rocket in and they're fighting the 3 monsters that show up.
Fight.
And I will say, these kaijus have a little bit more personality than the previous ones.
Because one, was obviously this kind of attack and didn't like this, and the other one was trying, more like this kind of attack. And
maybe it was just because this fight was taking place in broad daylight.
Maybe.
Whereas in the first movie, it was all in the dark.
It was all in the dark, in the water.
In the water, so there was not a whole lot of detail that we could pick out. But in this fight, it was broad daylight.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And another thing that they did in the first movie, twice in the first movie, Gypsy Danger had he got hit and he did a slide and then he tapped like his slide stops just before dink, tapping something. And then he does a punch through a building and then his punch stops just before dink and causing a little chick thing. In this movie, they did the slide tap, but it hit a car and it went after it had destroyed 20 other cars. So they brought back the slide, the punch slide tap, and really I kind of like that.
I did like the homage there too. I will say the visual effects were on par.
Yes.
With the first one.
They were not bad.
They were, and because they were in broad daylight, they could bring more to the table.
I will also say that the user interfaces in the first movie, like when they were fighting monsters, if they had a boat in their hand, it rendered the boat in their hand. But when the monster's attacking them, it didn't render the monster. In this one, it renders the monster. We got to see at one point the monster attacks them, and in the cockpit, they're seeing the monster up in their face in real time.
It did show a fun progression of the technology.
Yeah.
Because before, it could only render what it understood.
But these characters who are now pilots, so all the cadets are now
because they're out of experienced pilots.
And for one moment, like when he double flipped off the kaiju after they killed him, it felt like the Disney Channel version of itself. And I was like, is that what this is? Is this the Disney Channel sequel to Pacific Rim? Because I don't want that. Like, They're high school students in the post-apocalypse, but are they going to be able to kill the kaiju before lunch? Find out on Pacific Rim. I don't want.
That's a good voice.
That's the voice that they use on every Disney Channel movie, man. I just don't want it. But unfortunately, those kids get a little bit headstrong, and they end up getting. One of them dies, and I can't. I had to rewind to figure out which one of them died.
Which one of them died? Well, yeah, they have one die, and then they have some of the Jaegers that they cobbled together get destroyed or severely damaged, which is kind of why they didn't really have us get too attached to them. I think they were red shirts.
They were red shirts, but that's also how you raise tension. Like, oh, they're not going to kill the kid. Oh, they killed the kids.
It's like, don't kill the dog.
Yeah, except I care about the dog.
You care about the dog more.
Care about the dog more than I did
the whole plot of John Wick, man. Don't kill his dog. You'll regret it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Newt is sitting here watching the fight with the three kaijus, and he is having a good time. He is chewing up the set. I kind of enjoy. He's having a good time up there, but he presses a button and unleashes a bunch of little bots that come and tear the kaiju apart and reconstruct them into one kaiju.
Into, like Voltron or the Destructicons.
Yeah. Now, I got to say, this
I was waiting for the Transformer sound.
Yeah, except more squishy. This guy is a precursor. He's the guy who builds the kaiju. So I thought that made a lot of sense, but at the same time, it didn't make a lot of it was interesting.
Tactically, you can surround
exactly. This has always been the problem with Voltron
people.
Is that tactically you have more strength with smaller units in multiple places than you do putting all your eggs in one basket.
Then you have to have all the people working in combination.
Right.
This, you got to have like...
This is biological, so it ended up with 3 brains inside of it, Now,
granted, these guys are hive-minded.
Yeah, so not a big deal, I guess.
With Voltron...
Yeah. Well, that is one thing that I was like, are they going to have these... Are they going to have the Jaegers Voltron together? Because that would be kind of cool, but could you do a 5-way drift? Oh, and also we had Amara run up, and she becomes the co-pilot in Gypsy Avenger.
Nate got hurt.
And she goes in through the glass that gets shattered in the front, which I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, Nate got hurt, so she gets to be the co-pilot.
And they leave, basically she and Nate trade places.
Right.
Because Nate is still... moving.
Yeah, he just hurt his arm.
In critical condition. It's very
Jaeger
similar.
pilots hurt arms.
I was like, it's very similar to the dad.
Yeah.
Or the
dad
son
in the
first
last
movie.
One. Well, and no, the dad in the first movie hurt his arm, and so we had to get a new pilot. And then his brother hurt his arm.
Yeah.
And so his arm he's like, I'm going to take this side because my other arm's bummed. Like, hurting your arm is, I guess, the biggest injury that happens to Jaeger pilots.
Because I was like, well, this is familiar.
Yeah.
But they trade places, but he's still in a very good spot to be watching over what's going on.
Yeah. And their 1 in 1,000 shot is they are going to strap the rocket on there and use the rocket to
the spare rocket they just happen to have.
Well, and how do they get it on there? It is Scrapper being piloted remotely with the one non-bad remote piloting thing,
because Amara built it, so it wasn't built with brain.
No. This remote piloting thing was done by the corporate woman.
Oh,
she put it in there so that
who we thought were the bad guy.
Right, and she's essentially coming to the rescue, remotely piloting Scrapper.
Calvary has arrived in Little Scrapper,
and she shows up and she's like,
a Scrapper.
I've modified it to have a welding iron on it, and Amara's like, I was going to do that, and corporate girl was like, no, you weren't.
Sure you weren't.
And she welds the rocket to their hand, and Gypsy Avenger rockets with a rocket in his hand to go into the atmosphere and then land on...
It was a very anime moment.
And it was a 1 in 1,000 shot. There was no way they would have gotten that aim right, but they escaped by getting into Scrapper because Scrapper gets caught on them.
They end up, Scrapper gets caught on, hooked onto them as it takes off. So it wasn't on purpose, sure.
That'd be convenient.
They make it up into this higher atmosphere. And as it's coming down, they're like, "Wow, we don't." It's like Toy Story. Rockets explode.
Yeah, exactly.
So they bail
Falling
out
with style.
Yes. So they see it's coming to come down and land on all the things.
But unfortunately, they don't have any escape pods. They try and use their one escape pod, but something's wrong with it.
So
and Scrapper cuts a hole in the back. Is like, get in.
It was amazing.
It was
so they're
fun.
like, yeah, okay, good. Here we go. Into Scrapper because she's awesome and this cute little Jaeger. So they crawl into the little Jaeger and eject, and of course it lands. It goes boom on
and
Mecha
Jaeger
Kaiju.
rolls down.
Yeah, Mega Kaiju, which is still not as cool as Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it was very Mecha Kaiju. And then we get a moment of her outside and looking at the sky and going, I've never seen snow before. And, John Bodega's like, really? That's what you're gonna look at? We got a giant dead Jaeger. I'm charming and everything.
Yeah, I was like, no, let her have her moment.
Let her
She's
have her
alive
moment.
to see this. That's the whole point. It's like Luke Skywalker and the extra sun setting,
Yeah.
No. And then he has to be all like, me.
Yeah, no, it's all about me because I'm charming and I'm the guy who's my career is huge right now. If it weren't for the fact that John Bodega was such a big name at the time and his character had been kind of backseated, this would have been a much better movie. It wasn't bad.
Like I said, he did a fantastic job with what he was given and how he was directed.
Oh, and then there's a post-credit scene.
Yes. Okay. Now, first we have to remember how Newt is taken out.
How was he taken out? Oh, that's
Nate
right.
got him.
That's right.
Nate took out Nate. Nate took out Newt.
That's right. He just
broken arm came in. Pow. It was very satisfying.
Newt is sitting there going. Newt Precursor is like, okay, well, Plan B. What's Plan B? And he turns around and he gets punched by Nate's one good arm.
Yeah, I was like, woo, that was satisfying.
It was pretty cool. And he's now in some facility. He's trapped. And
he's like, the precursors are coming. The precursors are coming. It was like Paul Revere all over again.
Right. But Jake comes in and he goes, no, next time we're bringing the fight to you. Which
we will be prepared.
Didn't we do that in the first movie?
Yes.
We dropped a nuke.
We did.
Into we nuked you the first time. There should not be you to go after. And how's this second, attack? Are we just going to, send... First of all, we know how to open rifts now. You showed us how to open rifts.
But how do you know where you're opening them to?
Right. I mean, are we going to send individual Jaegers through? I don't know. I feel they were obviously setting it up for a sequel.
Another movie.
That didn't happen.
They did say in some early press releases about it that if the second movie made enough money, they were absolutely going to make a third.
And they did not because it did not.
The budget for this movie was right around $160 million. Mm-hmm. It made $290.9 million, so almost $291 million.
Okay.
It was just over half of what the first movie made.
Which
barely over half.
I mean, first of all, for riding on the success of the first, that ain't great.
No,
that ain't great.
Not.
Although I wonder how much like you say, how much did they spend on this movie compared to the first one? Did they spend a lot more on this movie?
It was about the same.
Yeah, well, then
because they spent more, I believe, more on the CGI and a little less on the acting, on the actors.
I feel like this had huge potential, and I think they felt like it had.
And
huge
I love
potential.
the fact that they were able to bring back the original actors that played Mako and the original acters that played Newt and Herman. And
yeah,
that was nice. It was a good tie.
The connections to the original
but the
were
fact
good
that they
and vital.
Yeah, and they didn't even bring up the name of the main character from the first movie.
Right, yeah. Like maybe
even
sitting that close to a nuclear reactor, have something about, he didn't last 3 months after that cancer took him or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it just misfired, and it misfired with audiences, and it just wasn't what anybody wanted.
I didn't go see it in theaters, I'll be honest. But I will say it was good enough that Netflix has a two-season animated series.
That's kind of what it felt like this one was like the Disney Channel animated version of itself.
Yeah, Netflix had a season come out in 2021 and 2022.
Oh, so it already is out, but that's not in our collection, so darn it.
No, it's not. It's because it's only on Netflix.
Yeah, darn it, we can't watch it.
Darn.
Well. We need to talk about rankings.
I liked it more than Cloverfield.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's on the bottom of the barrel. So it wasn't like C tier. It wasn't F tier.
No.
It was thoroughly mid for me. It was fine. It just was. I'm eyeing my mid tier, which kind of starts at Godzilla 1998, Terror of Mechagodzilla, King Kong, Mothra versus Godzilla, Gamera, Godzilla raids again. That's kind of my mid tier.
Right.
I'm trying to see where it fit. Now, the original Pacific Rim for me was just above the 1998 Godzilla, because above it are a bunch of movies that I really, really like. It is the bottom of the top.
See, mine is close to the bottom of the top, but mine's a higher up than yours.
Yeah,
by
it
like
is.
2 slots.
So, where are you thinking of putting this? What are you eyeballing on the chart?
Oof. I'm trying to decide, did I like it better than Zilla or less than Zilla?
That's the thing. I'm looking at Zilla as well. You know what? It is going to land either before or after Zilla for me, and the reason being that I kind of like Zilla.
Yeah.
Now, I like Zilla now more because of the animated series, but I even liked it at the time. It wasn't well received at the time, but I liked it.
I was entertained.
You know what? I am going to put it below Zilla because I do not want it to be right next to the other Pacific Rim. That is going to be my logic. It's terrible logic.
But it's yours.
But
own it.
Yeah, that's where I'm putting
I
Pacific
think I'm
Rim
going to put it under Zilla for me, but above King Kong.
So there we go. We've both kind of put, like, it's in the same category.
It's the higher. It's the lowest of the high ranks.
Yeah, and I kind of think that's where it belongs. Although honestly, I wish I could have put it lower, just because it really did fall so far short of
the storytelling.
And
I mean, the visual effects, the monsters, they were kind of cool.
You know what? I'm rethinking it. It's sliding down for me. Terror of Mechagodzilla is moving up one. Did I like it better than Jack Black's King Kong? No, I'm putting it below. Well,
debate it.
I'm putting it one more down.
Okay.
And so Terror of Mechagodzilla is going up one, and Pacific Rim Rising is going down, and then King Kong 2004, because I really didn't like King Kong 2004 as much as I liked this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I put it above that.
I mean, I wanted to like
King Kong
2004,
There's just
but
so much to it.
Yeah, and it just didn't nail it for me. So there we go. So next time on the Kaiju review...
I did want to say,
okay,
just for pages. Okay, Legendary Comics is coming out with a Pacific Rim Final Breach graphic novel starting next year. You
know what? One thing that I will say about the Pacific Rim series, it has the potential to be... It
has a lot of potential, like you said.
It has the potential to be toyetic.
Yeah.
Like, I 100% want to see Pacific Rim toys, but that is only going to happen with a successful animated series. Yeah. Although, quite frankly, they don't make animated series to sell toys anymore.
Not really.
And I kind of miss that day and age.
Right?
You know? It would have been cool to see Pacific Rim toys. I think that kids would have gone gaga for those. I like going back into the toy series now, going to the toy section of Walmart or wherever, and they're bringing back the original Transformers. Yeah. And I'm like, that's because the people who are buying toys are the ones who want to have those toys again. And I feel like Pacific Rim could have 100% been a toy line that kids would have gone gaga for.
Infinite shapes and sizes of
kaijus. Yeah.
And then and now that they've done it in the second Pacific Rim movie, you could have had
mix and match robots. Absolutely. I think this has great potential.
Or you could even have like the Constructicons, or Destructicons is what they were called.
Yeah. Or we have a Kaiju play sets, which is made out of Play-Doh that you can mash them together or
and
something
create a
like
different
that.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
The Constructicons. Sorry about that.
Like, if this had come out in the 80s, that's 100%
what
they would have done with it.
And Transformers.
And RoboCop. RoboCop was an oddly toyetic line.
For being a rated R movie.
For being a rated R movie that
Very
kids should not have seen. But then
they
they also turned that into a TV series, and then they also turned that into a cartoon series, because they were like, kids want to play with these toys. We should make more show for them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and it talked. The toys talked.
Yes, I do remember that.
My brother had one.
I would love to see a toy of Gypsy Danger that plays Gladys's voice.
Right? Oh. And it has the action motion of punching.
I want so bad.
We're not children of the 80s. No.
Oh, man. Well, I think that children of today would have a good time with that.
I would. Take it with my nieces and nephews. They'd enjoy it.
So next time on the Kaiju Review, we are going to be doing Godzilla King of Monsters, which is the next MonsterVerse movie. We're going back to the MonsterVerse. We're going back to Hollywood's Godzilla. Have you seen this one already?
Parts of it.
Okay. So you don't remember? I remember it. I don't know if I remember it super well. I remember after watching I remember watching the original Godzilla, which again, our episode got lost on that one, but we did the recap at the beginning of
the original MonsterVerse Godzilla.
Right. And I was so excited to see a good Godzilla done by Hollywood that the fact that it wasn't perfect, I was willing to let go. But then MonsterVerse came along, and I remember thinking this is as good as I wanted it to be.
Oh, King of Monsters?
King of Monsters nailed it, I think.
Awesome.
And so,
no, this is one of those movies that every time I put it in, something would go wrong. Something would happen in my life.
Well, now you have
I'm like, okay, guys, nobody bother me.
Don't do that.
This is for work.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. I think that is all we've got for this time.
Well, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Joe.
And if you enjoy our little conversations, we'd love you to engage with our podcast. Give us a like, a comment, leave a review, make the algorithms happy. So if you enjoy these sort of things, we would love for you to we would like to invite you to do some shelf examination at your local library.
Thanks for listening. And I'm not going to edit that either. We're going to get the messed up opening and the messed up closing on this episode.
Run!